Hi, everyone. It's Maria Luz of Modus Novus Astro Hypnosis and Maria Luz Online. And this is the Friday Astro Energy Report for June 14th. It has been a week for a lot of people, and there have been some recent face-offs in the form of square aspects between sometimes malevolent characters. So that could be why. And we had Mars squaring Pluto and then Mercury squaring Saturn earlier in the week. And you likely know, or at least have felt this, but according to Hellenistic astrology, which is a type of lineage of astrology, if you were born in the day, then Saturn is the planet which can bring you the toughest times. And if you were born in the night, then it's Mars. So either way, this week, something crunchy may have come up for you. Back to the present. This morning, we have a Mercury cazimi, which, as a reminder, is when the planet, and this time it happens to be Mercury and Gemini, is right at the exact same degree, down to the minutes of the place where the sun is in the zodiac wheel. And I can't help but look at the big picture. And for me, again, it's that we're in this time of personal and collective transformation. And a lot of that has to do with Pluto, moving into Aquarius and just a lot of the other lineups that have happened this year. Sedna being the other one that I've talked about before. So traditionally, when Mercury meets up with the sun, especially in Gemini, this can be a great time to communicate about yourself as the spotlight, in the form of the sun is really shining on what's on our minds. And in the current context, just know that the moon may also play a role in this cazimi because it's in Mercury ruled Virgo and it's in this first quarter phase. And Neptune is in this sort of loose square, which again is kind of a challenging aspect to this cazimi. Plus, Venus is very nearby as well. Um, so Neptune's in that loose square to the Mercury cazimi and Venus, and then those are in this. Neptune is in an opposition to the moon. And breaking this down, the phase of the this phase of the moon, the first quarter phase, is about taking action toward your intentions and asking for what you want, which could be a very Mercury uh, inspired thing to do. And people born, as an aside, people born with the moon in this phase tend to be those courageous, kind of willing to jump into action type of personality. And so that's going on. And then Neptune, again, being in that opposition to the moon and kind of challenging the sun and Mercury here, Neptune's nearing the end of this long, long stint since 2012 of time in Pisces. And Pisces is this dreamy, spiritual, imaginative sign. But next March, Neptune will be moving into the very action oriented Aries sign, which is ruled by Mars. So I would say, like, use this final time that you will experience Neptune in Pisces um, in your lifetime. Sorry if that's scary, but it has a 165-year orbit. So this will be the last time, that we will experience Neptune in Pisces with, and with that Mercury in its home sign and in a cazimi, because it's not going to get back there before Neptune leaves for Aries. So I think it's this opportunity to express your dreams, because that's a Neptune thing, to a trusted person. And even if that seems like a small action, it's still a sign to the universe that it's your intent to act when the time is right. And the other reason I say this is that Saturn and Neptune are within 10 degrees of each other, which has not happened for a very, very long time. So there is some discussion between those two about, how much time do we really have to dream versus really rolling up our sleeves and putting that kind of Saturn effort in? And I mentioned Venus in the mix earlier with that loose square to Neptune, and that tightens up for Venus and comes into an exact square on Sunday. So again, there's still kind of that Saturn influence in the background because it is, as as far as those two planets, Saturn and Neptune go, it is fairly close. But this time the moon is in the Venus ruled Libra on that day. So while I think there are many different interpretations of this aspect between Neptune and Venus, I think a fun one is that it's an opportunity to like check yourself about your summer crush and whether there's a bit of illusion or delusion, which can happen when Neptune is going about unnoticed. Whether there's some of that being exposed, I don't know. And then the last thing I want to highlight is that Venus enters Cancer on Monday for almost a month. And this is a time to be social in a more cozy, at home manner and bring in some flowers from the garden or maybe Trader Joe's and just make something homemade to share with your cherished people over, the next month or so. And on that beautiful thought, go out and have a glorious tail end of Gemini season because next week the sun moves into Cancer. I will see you next week. Bye bye. Hi, friend. I just wanted to say if you want to work with me, just go to my website. It's marialuz.online and you'll see the offerings. And you can always email me as well, info@marialuz.online. I really appreciate your support in watching. Share these videos if you like them and my podcast as well, Maria Luz's Conscious Curiosities, which can be found anywhere you podcast. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.